Today's episode is called, Joe Saves the Post Office. Uncle Joe springs into action to save the Hooterville post office from closure. He tries to see his congressman in Washington, D.C., with Janet and Bobbie Jo, and while there, Joe recites from memory the Gettysburg Address, during a visit to the Lincoln Memorial. Then they meet an off-camera President Richard Nixon, whereas Joe later tells Sam, the president supposedly said, "Joe, old buddy, call me Dick." Original airdate, February 15, 1969.
Come ride the little train that is rolling down the tracks to the junction. Forget about your cares, it is time to relax at the junction. Lots of curves, you bet, and even more when you get to the junction.
Petticoat Junction.
There's a little hotel called the Shady Rest at the junction.
Petticoat Junction.
It is run by Joe. Come and be his guest at the junction.
Petticoat Junction.
Here's our lady M.D. She's as pretty as can be at the junction. Petticoat Junction.
Joe?
Sam's giving away free coffee.
Well, there's got to be more to it than that, Uncle Joe.
It has something to do with the new post office.
Well, let's go see. Hi, Mr. Drucker.
Oh, howdy, folks. Free coffee right here. Oh, there's soda pop over there for you girls if you'd like.
Oh, thank you.
What's this I hear about a new post office, Sam?
Oh, we'll get to that in just a moment, Steve. Sugar and cream right there. Here you go, Joe. When Bert put the new chair in his barber shop, he not only gave free coffee, but donuts as well. Well, so does Drucker's right there on the table. These are plain. Ain't you got any sugar or jelly? No, but I got some that'll suit your personality. Crumb.
I'd be glad to help you with the coffee, Mr. Drucker. I know you have more important things to do.
Thanks, Billy Joe. I certainly do have more important things to do. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll step this way, please. At this time, it's my great honor to unveil our new post office.
Well, what's so different about that?
That's new?
Looks like the same old post office to me. Well, instead of new, maybe I should have said modernized. Please note the new innovations I have installed. This pen with a chain attached for the customer's use. And this new stamp machine. This way, a person can come into the store any time of day or night, get the stamps he needs, whether I'm here or not. Yes, Steve?
Sam, when you're not here, the store is locked up tight. How are we going to get in to use the stamp machine?
Well, you... Oh, got a good point there. I'll give that further thought. Also, notice I have revarnished all the cubby holes. Oh, I see there's a letter for you there, Joe. Maybe I should have waited until the varnish dried.
Haven't this letter's from a research firm in Newark. With a check for my theories in interplanetary space travel, I'm going to sue you.
You don't have to worry, Joe.
Huh?
It's from the AC-Doocy Novelty Company.
Maybe it's about the Mark Decker cards you sent away for.
Well, it's just like the ad said. Strictly for entertainment. To amuse and baffle your friends.
Oh, sure. Oh, here comes the cannonball. Everybody be quiet for just a minute. This is all a part of the plan to streamline and modernize the post office. That's her. Come on, everybody. There she is. A first for the Hooterville post office.
I don't get it.
Wendell tossed the mail sack off while a cannonball was speeding by. Something I saw on the mail line on my way back from Topeka.
How did it work? Oh, dear. Oh, there's a few little bugs to work out. Sam, the cannonball stops right there. Wendell could walk the sack over.
Yeah, he could, Steve. But this is the space age. We timed it out. This way it saves 40 seconds. And these days, every second counts. Well, here we are. The day's mail for Hooterville.
Is that all the mail they're in? What's in the rest of the bag?
Wendell's laundry. Here you go, Steve. Oh, Billy Joe.
Oh.
Here's one for Doc Craig.
Well, I'll see that she gets it.
Oh. Well, what do you know? Who would have ever thunk it?
What is it, Sam?
Who would have ever thunk it?
What are you talking about?
You know, that's absolutely amazing. Who would have ever thunk it?
Will you tell us what you're talking about, and we'll let you know whether we ever think it. Will you quit beating around the bush and open that thing?
Just read that address.
Postmaster Samuel Drucker, Hooterville Substation, Hooterville.
Now take a look at the sender.
Post Office Department, Washington, D.C. It's really from the main post office in Washington.
Yeah, it's got to be. The letter's got no zip code on it.
I wrote those fellers down there, told them all about me streamlining and modernizing our post office, but never in the world did I think those fellers would bother to answer little old Sam Drucker clear out here in Hooterville. Well, all I can say is...
Oh, yeah, we're thinking. Now, will you open the dead blame thing?
Well, I want to save the envelope to post on the bulletin board. Dear Postmaster Drucker, we regret to inform you that due to the economy drive in the post office department, we will be closing the Hooterville substation.
What? Well, that's not fair. We have to wait all that time.
And then it goes on to say how this will be put into effect. Well, that happened in a hurry. From a modern substation to a dead letter office.
Hello, girls. Oh, hi, Janet. Here's a letter for you. Oh, thank you. Got a New York postmark on it. Well, you see, Janet, when a letter shows up around here with a New York postmark on it, it sticks out like a sore thumb. Usually our mail is from Crabwell Corners or Pumpkin Center.
This probably has to do with a medical conference that's coming up.
Oh, that sounds exciting.
Well, exciting isn't exactly the word. It's just a group of people in the medical profession gathering to discuss new techniques and discoveries.
Yeah, but in that gathering are a lot of young doctors.
And you may be right. I never thought of it that way.
You know, this might be the last letter you'll ever get from the Hooterville post office.
Oh?
Mr. Drucker was notified today that his substation's going to be closed.
Oh, what a shame.
Girls, I've got the answer. Hi, Doc.
Hello, Joe.
Doc, you can get in on this, too. We're trying to think up ways to save the post office.
Well, I'd love to help, but right now I have to make some house calls. But you'd let me know if there's anything I can do.
Okay. Oh, say, Doc.
Oh, it seems to have cleared up.
Thanks.
Goodbye.
Best thing that ever happened to letting Doc move in the hotel here. That way we don't have to pay for house calls.
Joe, what about the post office?
Oh, yeah. Well, here, sit right here. The way we're going to handle this is like one of them think factories.
Think factories?
Yeah, I've been reading up on them. It's where a bunch of guys sit down together in a room, and they're presented a problem, and they come up with ideas how to solve it.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
They start out by everybody pitching ideas. First thing that comes to your mind, no matter how nutty.
Oh, we've got a good group for that.
Now, first of all, we'll have someone state the problem. Billy Joe?
Well, Uncle Joe, we're all aware of the problem.
Billy Joe, if we're going to run it like a think factory, that's the way we got to do it.
Okay. Well, the problem is that the post office department is going to close down the Hooterville substation because of an economy move. And since the Pixley post office does more business, we'll have to get our mail from there.
That was well put, Billy Joe. Now, how shall we overcome it? Bobbie Jo, you start out.
Well, why don't we get everybody in the valley to write himself a letter and send it through Mr. Drucker's post office. And that'll show him how much business we can do in Hooterville.
So much for nutty ideas.
Bobbie Jo, this has got to be something brilliant, clever, ingenious. Hey, wait a minute. Maybe Maybe that's not such a bad suggestion after all.
You like my nutty idea?
Yeah, but it could be even nuttier. I'll take care of that part. Let's see. Yeah. Now all we got to do is have you girls help me canvass the valley.
Sure, we'd be glad to help. Oh, anything to keep the post office open.
Petticoat Junction will return after...
Hi, Newt.
Oh, hi, Joe. Anything you want to borrow is in there.
I didn't come to borrow anything. Hey, Newt. I want you to take every one of them newspapers and wrap it up separately and mail it to yourself through Sam's post office. Did you hear what I said?
Well, I hope not. Would you mind running through that again?
I said I want you to take every one of them newspapers, wrap it up separately, and mail it to yourself through Sam's post office.
This grinding must be getting to me. I swear I heard you say to wrap every one of them papers, mail them to myself through Sam's post office.
That's exactly what I said.
Joe, last night when we had the lodge meeting and you was in charge of the ceremonial wine, are you sure you didn't...
No, I didn't. This is all for a good purpose. If we give enough business to Sam's post office, they won't close it down.
Yeah, but mailing every one of them papers is going to cost at least a couple of bucks.
Well, ain't it worth a couple of bucks to keep the post office open?
Guess you're right.
Now, you be sure and do it, because I'm checking your name off the list.
Okay.
No, say, while you're at it, why don't you just wrap up that old oil can and mail it to yourself, parcel post?
Okay. It's going to be awful messy. That can don't have a top to it.
These crop dusting manuals are great.
Now, you want me to mail these back to myself through Sam's post office?
Right.
Who thought of this brilliant idea? Don't tell me. Uncle Joe.
Well, I helped him.
For an idea like this, he needed help?
Steve, I can see where it might do some good. If Mr. Drucker starts handling more mail than the Pixley post office, then his station will be the one picked to be kept open. This'll be terrific. You want us to mail that, too? Uh-huh.
Bobbie Jo, this'll cost a fortune to send through the mail.
Not necessarily. Just put a 6-cent stamp on it.
A 6-cent stamp?
Right. And Mr. Drucker can collect the postage due at the other end. Hey, that's very clever. I never would have thought of that. Bye.
But if we only put a 6-cent stamp and there's postage due, and we're mailing it to ourselves, that means that we're going to be stuck with the postage due.
Oh, Steve, why do you have to be so technical about everything?
Technical? I'm just trying to...
Silly baby. Now, take these manuals and these magazines. Hey, it's the baby's pacifier. I've been looking for that for weeks.
Could I use it until the baby wakes up?
Oh, is my oldest baby upset?
That's a much better pacifier.
Thanks, Wendell, for making all those stops along the line.
Oh, my pleasure. I only hope it'll do some good.
Well, everybody promised to cooperate, and I know I can count on you.
Oh, you can. I've got a stack of old train magazines I can mail to myself.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, Billy Joe,
Yes?
I've got this bunch of letters I could mail, too.
Oh, good. What's that smell?
Oh, sachet perfume.
Wendell, you old rascal, you.
I was going to mail them before, but I just couldn't make up my mind.
A lady friend?
Emma. One day I'd think I should mail them, and the next day I'd think I shouldn't. It's been quite a decision to make.
I can imagine. How long ago did you write them?
8 years ago.
8 years?
My, how time slips by.
Well, Wendell, why don't you go ahead and mail them anyway?
Oh, no, I really don't think I should.
How come?
6 years ago, Emma moved to Australia and married a rancher, and now they have 4 children. And under those conditions, I've kind of decided against it.
Oh, but yes, I'm inclined to agree. Well, bye, Wendell. See you later.
The sachet really holds up well.
Me, the
Well, I'm sorry about your order, Mrs. Tucker, but things have been real hectic around here for the last couple of days. Yeah, frankly, I've been going in circles. Well, look, maybe I could deliver your groceries sometime today. Huh? Too late? Your dinner party was yesterday? Yeah, Mrs. Tucker.
Morning, Sam. What's new?
Joe, you're just the guy I wanted to see. Where you been for the last couple of days?
Busy. Doing you a favor.
Some favor. Come here.
Boy, what do you know?
Yeah, what do you know?
These valley people really come through in a crisis, don't they?
Come through. I've had so much mail coming here over the past 24 hours, I haven't been able to do a lick of grocery business.
Good. Where's your camera, the one you use on the newspaper?
Well, out and back. What's that got to do with it? An oil can. People have mailed in everything but the kitchen sink.
Postmaster, you stand right here.
What are you up to now?
Now smile.
Smile?
I said smile.
What's that for?
This is going to our congressman, Congressman Fenwick in Washington. And the caption under the picture is going to say, Postmaster Drucker and a day's mail in the Hooterville post office.
A day's mail? Now, Joe, that ain't quite right.
Ain't exactly right. What's all that on the floor, coleslaw?
No, but you're going to give the impression we get this much mail every day.
I hope so. That way they'll keep this post office open and close the one in Pixley. I'll report to you when I get back.
And get back? From where?
Washington.
Oh, Washington?
Yeah, I'm going back to see Congressman Fenwick in person.
Poor Washington. And they think they got troubles with their foreign policy.
Petticoat Junction will return after these messages.
Gosh, I hope she's in. Me too. Janet, may we talk to you for a minute?
Oh, yes, of course. Here, let's sit over here.
Uncle Joe is upstairs packing his suitcase, getting ready to go to Washington.
Washington?
To see our congressman about Mr. Drucker's post office being closed. And he's taking along this phony picture to prove his case, and we're just afraid he's going to get into a lot of trouble.
Well, knowing your uncle, he does have quite a knack for that. I'm afraid there's no stopping him.
Not our uncle. Once his mind's made up, it's like trying to stop winter from coming.
You know, I've just about decided to go to that medical conference in New York. Perhaps I could swing by Washington.
Could you? Oh, that certainly would help.
How would you two like to come along as my guest?
Oh, thanks, but... Oh, somebody has to stay and look after the hotel.
Oh, that's right.
Hey, Bobbie Jo, why don't you go along? I get plenty of chances to travel when I'm singing.
Oh, thanks, Billy Joe. Oh, but I couldn't leave you here alone.
Well, sure you could.
No, I couldn't.
Sure you could.
I'll go pack.
Boy, what a runaround.
Yeah,
Did you write or phone for an appointment?
yeah,
What an alibi. He can't see you now. He's got to make a speech in the House.
yeah.
After all, Joe, he is a congressman.
Yeah, but they're always talking with each other. Why can't he take time out and talk to a voter?
Yeah.
Well, as long as we're here, let's make the most of it. Let's go and see the sights.
Okay, but if he's not in when we get back, I'm going to release this picture to the press. You mean to tell me he's still making that speech? What a windbag. Okay, I'll go right to the top. Get me the post office department.
Joe, do you really think you're doing the right thing? I mean, that picture is sort of a fraud.
Hello, post office department? I want to speak to the postmaster general. Oh? How about the postmaster lieutenant? Postmaster corporal? Well, who can I speak to? Oh, Oh, well, miss, we got... Hey, wait a minute. Who are you? You were just passing by and heard the phone ring. Forget it. I'll call my congressman later. He can't still be making that speech. Oh, he's through, but he's too busy to see me. Well, listen. You tell him this is Joseph P. Carson from Hooterville. I got 5 votes in the family. Right. They're all alike. He'll see us at 5.
Very impressive, isn't it?
Yeah. Old Abe. Like I always said, he was the best one.
We learned the Gettysburg Address in school, but I couldn't recite it now.
I think that's true with most of us. Let's see, 77 years ago, our fathers brought forth upon this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. And that's about as far as I can go.
Now we're in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggle here have concentrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note or long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us. That from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave that last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain. That this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
How about that? The old guy didn't miss a word.
Uncle Joe, that was beautiful. I'm very proud of you.
So am I, Joe.
Yeah, like I always said, I figured he was the best.
Well, we better get going if you're going to see Congressman Fenwick.
Right.
Yeah,
Are you coming, Joe?
and I guess we'll just forget about this. Hope you're satisfied.
That was a good thing you did back there, Joe.
Yeah, great. I guess I blew the post office. Now I gotta face Sam after all that yakking I did.
Uncle Joe, look.
Oh, that poor little feller.
No, wait. He's very frightened. He may bite you.
Yeah, maybe he'll go from a jugular vein, then I won't have to face Sam. There. That's a nice boy. I'm your friend. I'm going to help you. Hope he ain't one of them foreign dogs that don't understand English. There now. Easy. Easy. That's a nice boy. You feel better? Must have been a girl dog.
Yes, I see them. Yes, sir. Hold! You were seen from up at the house.
Oh, we didn't do anything.
There's no film in the camera.
We don't even have a camera.
No, you don't understand. That dog is a very special pet around here. The boss saw what you did. He wants to thank you personally.
The boss?
That's right. Here they are, sir.
Oh, my goodness.
It's the
Hi, I'm Joe Carson, Hooterville. 5 votes in the family.
Golly.
So I I say to him, I say, Prez, I say, and he says, Joe, old buddy, call me Dick.
Real friendly fella, huh?
Oh, yeah, he couldn't do enough for me. Well, I says, I don't believe in pork barreling, but for the sake of my old buddy Sam Drucker, how about keeping that Hooterville post office open? Well, sir, he went straight to the hotline.
Joe?
There's no hurry, I says. Tomorrow'll do.
Joe?
I wouldn't be surprised when any day now you'll be here and you're going to stay open.
I already did.
Huh? Boy, he worked faster than I thought.
No, Joe. The day you left, I got word it was all a mistake. It's a substation called Hooterville they want to close.
When you do hear from my pal, the Prez, kind of pretend like he's saving the day. I didn't want to hurt his feelings. Poor guy's got troubles enough.
Mail's here.